Welcome to the Millennium Clean course. This is the first course in Part 2 of your cleaning induction program. Part 2 of your induction focuses on operational topics such as manual handling, working with compactors, vacuums, ride on machinery and buffers, and hygiene control. Before we get into the operational topics, we think it's important to give you an overview of what it means to clean for Millennium. During this course, we'll be looking at what is Millennium Clean? Our expectations of you. Our sites are our own. Entrances. Cleaners' rooms. Restrooms. It's all about you. We look forward to seeing you applying this knowledge on site. What does it mean to be Millennium Clean? Millennium has grown significantly since commencing operations in 2003 to have a workforce of over 5,300. Servicing approximately 850 sites across Australia and New Zealand. Why have we grown? It's pretty simple really. We have a team of dedicated employees who understand we are a service business and our clients are our number one priority. It takes a long time to build a good relationship and reputation with our clients. In order to continue to grow and be an industry leader, we need to have high expectations of ourselves and our teams to deliver the best service to our clients we can, every day. Millennium Clean is having a sense of ownership of the place you work. It's about having a high expectation of yourself and your area of responsibility. No matter how large or small your role, you are contributing to the larger story unfolding within your life, your work and Millennium. When our entire team embraces that type of attitude and belief system, incredible things happen. We believe everyone at Millennium helps make us the success we are today. When we win and keep cleaning contracts because of the amazing work our cleaners do, we as your employer can provide you with the benefits of training, career progression, and job security. Our expectations. As we said, we recognize our success is our people. The key qualities we expect of you as a cleaner at Millennium are to not only perform your cleaning duties to the Millennium standard, but to display a positive attitude. This means follow the directions of your supervisor and account manager. Be a team player. Teamwork not only with your Millennium colleagues, but also our clients and other service providers. Have open and honest communication with your managers and team. Wear your uniform with pride. Smile. When a client or a member of the general public walks into a building, the first thing they notice is the entrance. They get an instant feeling about the space they are walking into. Is it welcoming? Is it clean? Here's where you scan the area with your eyes. Notice all corners of the space and make sure entrance mats are clean, vacuumed and free from gum. Entrance glass is free from smudges and fingerprints. Rubbish, spills or marks are cleaned. All cobwebs are removed. Bins are emptied and cleaned. Any chewing gum is removed. Any graffiti is removed. Now you're on site. What's another part of our job that makes a big impact on client and patron satisfaction? You guessed it, the restrooms. From a health and safety perspective, we need to ensure that restrooms are clean and in a healthy and hygienic condition. But what do our clients look for when they are assessing whether we are doing a good job? According to audits the clients do, these are some of the criteria we are graded on. Does the restroom have a pleasant odor? Are toilet paper, soap and hand towel dispensers clean and well stocked? Are toilet bowls, toilet seats, urinals and the tiles under urinals clean? Are bins clean, have capacity for more rubbish and lined with the correct bin liner? Are the mirrors, taps, basins and bench tops clean? Are the floors clean? Are the walls, doors and partitions clean? Are the ceilings, vents and lights clean? Cleaner's room. Now let's have a look at the cleaner's room, the place where we store all of our equipment. Ensuring we have a well-organized, clean and safe cleaner's room will help minimize the risk of injury and promote a productive work environment. Well-organized and safe cleaner's rooms. The time and attendance tablet is easily accessible and free from any obstructions. Are well ventilated and left locked when unattended. Contain all necessary documentation, including WASA policies, procedures, forms, and work instructions. Safety data sheets must be available to easily access close to where the chemicals are being used. All chemicals should be clearly and accurately labeled, especially when decanted. Equipment must be tagged and tested for electrical faults. Any faulty equipment should be clearly marked as out of service and, if possible, removed from the cleaning storage area to another location until serviced and safe to use. All chemicals must be stored in an appropriate bunded area, an area that contains spills and leaks. Equipment that is color-coded should not be in contact with each other to avoid contamination. All equipment should be thoroughly cleaned and ready for next use before being stored. All waste should be removed from the cleaner's room. All chemicals and consumables should be used on a first-in, first-out basis. Consumables could refer to anything that can be used up, such as toilet paper, soap, or rubber gloves. Contain personal protective equipment that is clean and in perfect working order. Teamwork. Keeping our cleaner's room tidy and well organized ensures we minimize the chance of injury from equipment or chemicals not being stored safely, are well organized, and the tools we need are easy to find. Promote a team approach. It's our team's space. Let's keep it clean. As we said earlier, Millennium's success relies on you, our people. You are the ones delivering service to our clients every day. Because of this, we are committed to training and upskilling you. As you've seen in this course on Millennium Clean, all the systems and processes we have in place are there to ensure you work safely, are trained properly to do your job with confidence, work well as a team. If you have any suggestions on how we can improve the way we work, please speak with your supervisor or account manager. Welcome to the Emergency Procedures course. This course has been designed to provide you with clear guidelines on identifying and managing an emergency situation in the workplace. During this course, we'll be looking at what constitutes an emergency in the workplace, initial response, incident management, debrief, reporting. In this course, we talk about shopping centres, but the principles apply equally to any other type of property or building. What is an emergency? An emergency can be defined as an unforeseen situation that directly threatens staff, customers, or the general public. Typically, an emergency is likely to disrupt or shut down part or all of a shopping centre and may also cause physical damage to the building. Emergencies may be either natural or man-made. Examples of an emergency may include events such as the following: fire, flood, structural collapse, explosion, armed intruder, presence of an improvised explosive device, terrorist attack. Every shopping centre has a set of policies and procedures about what to do in the event of an emergency. These will be explained to you on site. All you need to be aware of is that you will be a part of the process if the time comes. All you need to do is follow instructions. Let's have a look at a generic set of steps that apply to most centres. Initial response. By this we mean what happens first when you are notified of an emergency. Just be aware that you personally might not need to do all these steps. You will be told by a supervisor what your role is. 1. Raise the alarm. 2. Consider the site-specific emergency management procedures. 3. Ensure emergency services have been called on 000. 4. Be sure to establish a site log, usually control or center management reception, recording the series of events, as this will become useful later. 5. Utilize tools on hand to safely evaluate the situation, such as CCTV, two-way radios, and mobile phones. Now that an initial response has been made, the next step is managing the incident. This will often involve the evacuation of the center, but most often only a partial evacuation is required. Again, this might be done by someone else, but we need you to be aware of the process. Incident management. The next step is to contain the area. Cordon off the affected area, ensuring the safety of those around you. Before entering a zone that is affected by the emergency, ask yourself the following questions. Is there any immediate danger to person or property? Am I risking my own personal safety? Does anyone know I'm here? When safe to do so, administer first aid if required, ensuring that you report back to security control any injuries or fatalities. Have I communicated the situation clearly to my supervisor or security? As we said earlier, you will be given site-specific training on emergency procedures. You will also cover these in more depth in the Millennium People Hub Incident Management Training module. Debrief and reporting. Following an emergency, you will be invited to attend a debrief session. A debrief in these circumstances is critical to allow all parties involved to share experiences and learnings. Monitor the well-being of staff involved in the incident. Ensure all information has been collated for reporting. Discuss business continuity in the event that the site is compromised. Every staff member benefits from a debrief. Be actively involved and don't be afraid to ask for help if you feel you may need it. Millennium will provide counselling services if needed, and this will be organised by management. Reporting is a key part of dealing with an emergency situation and may be a requirement if you are present in an emergency situation. When things get stressful, it is easy to forget the details of what happened. Taking notes will ensure you clearly remember what took place and will be invaluable when writing an incident report. Refer to your notes when completing your report. Accuracy is key, and if needed, liaise with other team members involved in the incident. Your report should include the following details: time, description of the emergency, actions taken by you, details of any injured persons, any other information that may be relevant to the cause of the emergency, including photos. Welcome to the Incident Management course. This course has been designed to give you the knowledge of what your responsibilities and duties are before, during and after an incident takes place. During this course, we'll be looking at principles of incident management, types of incidents requiring response, major incidents, common incidents, my role after an incident, including reporting, the 3 C's. This site-specific response is referred to as the Incident Command System. The ICS ensures there is clear 1. Command of personnel. This is a hierarchy of decision-makers made up of center management and the Millennium Site Manager. It is a chain of command, i.e., who reports to whom when incidents occur. 2. Control. This is the plan of what activities need to happen for an incident to be managed. At your site, you will find an emergency response plan, which outlines who is responsible for activities and coordinating resources in the case of an incident occurring. 3. Coordination. Brings resources together to ensure incidents are responded to and recovery takes place that is applicable to the circumstances of the incident. Types of incidents. There are many types of incidents that occur, and they will vary from site to site. Some examples are slip and falls, drug-affected people on site, lost child, assault. All Millennium cleaners need to be aware of the types of incidents they could encounter during a shift and their responsibilities in response. If you are unsure of how to respond to an incident on site, please ask your supervisor. Major incidents. Not only are there different types of incidents, but some will be more serious than others. How you respond to an incident will also depend on how serious it is. Let's have a look at some serious incidents we call major. A major incident is any incident involving the use of force to eject a person from site, the formal warning or banning of any person, the attendance of the emergency services to site, the injury of any person, an uncontained hazardous substance spill, a near-miss incident which could have resulted in personal injury, the reported assault of any person, the reported theft or loss of property, the reported damage to any property, the report of any criminal offence, the receipt of a complaint against persons engaged by the client, Millennium, tenants, maintenance, or contractors. What to do? Firstly, it is important to remember, in all major incidents you will be given directions and duties from security and centre management. Here is what to do if you see a major incident on site. Take a deep breath before using your two-way radio. Call through to your supervisor what has happened. Put your own safety first. Put on an emergency warden vest and hard hat to identify yourself to others. You may be instructed to assist in directing people to the nearest exit. Put up barriers and caution tape to stop anyone going into the area. Evacuate the site. Direct media or anyone asking questions about the incident to centre management. Keep witnesses in an area together until police arrive. Assist until the emergency services take control. Attend and participate in the debrief. Notify Millennium management of the incident. Check the welfare of all staff. Trauma counselling will be provided to all staff. Remember, you may not need to do all the above steps. Security and centre management will guide you. Common incidents. Let's have a look at some common incidents that you may come across and what to do. Suspicious behaviour. Notify security. Give a description of the person and their clothing. Give a brief description of what you saw or was told by a witness. If directed to do so by security, monitor the person at a safe distance until security arrive. Take further direction from security, centre management. Return to duties if no further assistance is required. Slip and fall. Take a breath. Notify security. Take instruction from security, centre management. Have colour-coded cleaning equipment ready to clean the spill. Wear the appropriate PPE when cleaning the spill. Do not leave any spill unattended. Allow security to complete first aid and their report before you clean up the spill. Complete an incident report form. Employee damage to machinery or client's property. Much of the equipment we use in cleaning our sites is expensive both to purchase, replace, or even repair. All equipment should be treated with care and be maintained. If an incident occurs causing damage to our machinery or our client's property, the following steps should be taken. Notify security or your supervisor. Assess the damage. If there is danger to others because of the incident, use barriers to stop any risk to other people. Fill in a Millennium Incident Report form. Your supervisor will notify your account manager. Your account manager will notify the state or operations manager. Staff retraining may be needed in safe use of equipment. Lost person. A call will come through to you from security or concierge. A description of the missing person will come over the two-way radio. Check the toilets and then call through to security as you have checked each area. Continue to search for the missing person as you continue your mall rotations. After an incident. After the control and resolution of an incident, you, the cleaner, first responder to the incident, will need to do a few tasks to finalise the matter. These tasks may include completing notes or filling out a Millennium Incident Report form, providing a statement to security, assisting cleaning to decontaminate the scene upon resolution. As we have mentioned, if you have been involved in or seen an incident, you should tell your supervisor as soon as possible. You or your supervisor will then fill out an incident report form. If your supervisor fills out the report, you should make sure the information is correct before you sign it. If you do need to fill out the report, here are some tips to remember. Remember and write down all the details about the incident. Be factual or offer your opinion as to why the incident occurred. Don't make things up. Don't make assumptions as to what might have happened. Write the report as soon as you can so you don't forget the details. Read your report before you give it to your supervisor. Make sure you haven't left out any details. Once the incident has been resolved, it's really important to have a debrief with the key stakeholders. We can learn so much from the way we handle an incident, and we also need to make sure everyone involved is okay and can move on. The debrief should involve Review of circumstances surrounding the incident. Contributing factors. Constructive feedback on how the incident was managed from incident commanders and emergency services. Outcome of incident. Welfare assessment of all persons involved in the event, and determine if counselling is required. We know that was heavy going, but we believe it is so important that you as a Millennium cleaner have the knowledge and skills to deal with incidents when they happen. Also remember, incident management is also being able to take direction from the incident commander. By no means is this the only training you will receive on incident management. Your supervisor will take you through toolbox training on a regular basis to keep you updated on any changes that happen on site. And one last point before we check your understanding of this module. This module does not provide guidance regarding emergency response or incident investigations and reporting. Welcome to the Cleaning Rotations course. This course has been designed to give you the knowledge about cleaning rotations, why they are important, and how we can contribute to minimizing risks in the workplace. In this course on cleaning rotations, we will be looking at what are cleaning rotations, why return times exist in shopping centers, what happens if we don't meet our return times, technology and return times, danger periods in shopping centers. Types of incidents. Being a cleaner for Millennium means you could be working at a variety of sites, including schools, office buildings, or public spaces. One of the core client groups, we provide cleaning services to our retail shopping centers. When we sign a contract with a client to clean their shopping center, we agree to a number of key performance indicators. These include how many staff we will put on, how often different areas of the center will be cleaned, the standard of cleaning provided at the center. In the contracts Millennium has with the client, one of the most important parts we need to abide by are called cleaning rotations. Cleaning rotations are defined as the maximum time between inspections of every square meter of the designated area, for example, common mall non-food areas, restrooms, or food court areas. These times must be complied with during the shopping center's core and extended trading hours. Cleaning rotation times came about because of cases in the Australian courts where people sued shopping centers and cleaning companies after they slipped and fell. From these cases, the law states that an accepted cleaning rotation time for a common mall non-food area is every 15 to 20 minutes. What happens if we don't make our rotation times? Rotation times are set out in cleaning contracts so that the owner of the center can show it has assessed the risk of its particular center and set a cleaning frequency that will minimize risk and hazards to patrons while on their premises according to Australian law. If we consistently fail to meet the rotation times, the outcomes are 1. Millennium is breaching the contract we have with the client. 2. More slip and fall claims against Millennium will occur, costing the company significant financial loss. 3. Significantly compromises Millennium's ability to defend and deny any public liability claims. For these reasons, it is very important you do your best to meet rotation times for your center. We do understand sometimes it is very difficult to meet rotation times if you are interrupted to help a customer, need to walk long distances, or attending to a spill. We just ask you do your best. If you are unsure of the rotation time, you should be working to please ask your supervisor. Technology to monitor cleaning rotations. So how can a client or court know if we have met our return point cleaning rotation times? There are two forms of technology that do this. One is CCTV and the other is a WAN system. Much of the CCTV in centers today is of an extremely high quality, so it is easy to see when viewing the footage whether a cleaner is actually inspecting and cleaning the areas or just walking past. When we view the CCTV for claims, we need to see that you are walking in a zigzag pattern, going around each and every casual tenancy, and we need to be able to observe that you are continuously turning your head to look for hazards, Failure to do these three things will expose Millennium to greater liability for claims. Throughout most shopping centres, Millennium has cleaning contracts with wand systems have been installed which monitors the cleaner's movements through a centre during their shift. In most cases, the wand will be a portable iPod device that is clipped onto your belt or uniform. As you make your way through the centre, the wand will pick up radio frequency waves from wand points that have been installed in the ceilings of the centre. Millennium is then able to collect data from the wands to see whether cleaning rotation times have been met. The wand system is a risk management tool that records information such as staff attendance, the date and time, the location of staff, and how often the staff member passes a wand point. When you do your site induction, your supervisor will show you where the wand points in the centre are located. If you are responsible for looking after a particular area on your shift, you need to make sure as you are doing your cleaning rotations, you are walking under the wand points. There is always a wand point near the entrance and exit to the centre. If you are performing your duties around entrances and exits, it is important you go right up to the entrance and exit and walk outside to inspect the area just outside for rubbish or debris, and then go back inside to keep going with your rotations. Even though most shopping centres have extensive CCTV, it is often the case when a person has a slip and fall. The incident might not be caught by CCTV. In these cases, wand data will be really important and will be the best evidence to prove whether a cleaner cleaned and inspected that area within the return time. Danger time. Now try and guess. What areas of the shopping centre have the most slip and falls? What are the times of the day when most slip and falls happen? Well, you might think that most slip and fall incidents occur in a food court area, given their proximity to food retailers and patrons regularly dropping food as they make their way to the table. In fact, it is mostly in the common mall non-food areas in which most slip and falls occur. Many occur due to children dropping food or drinks from strollers, so please keep a lookout for this. The majority of slip and fall incidents occur between the hours of 11 to 2 p.m, when the food retailers in the centre are at their busiest and many patrons are walking around the centre eating lunch. Slip and fall incidents are also more likely to occur at times of high foot traffic such as holiday periods or times when the centre is hosting a special event. We can all play a part in helping reduce the number of these incidents occurring. You can help by being aware of your cleaning responsibilities, zone and movements. Cover your break times. Be aware of the danger periods in the centre for slip and falls. Welcome to the Wet Weather Procedures course. This course has been designed to provide you with an understanding of how wet weather conditions impact the health and safety of you, your teams, our clients, and the general public, and what you can do to minimize the risk of injury. During this course, we will be looking at what are wet weather procedures, slips and falls, causes of slip and falls, prevention and preparation. Wet weather procedures are in place at all sites Millennium operates at. This is because wet weather has a big impact on everyone on site. Rain can create slippery and wet conditions that has the potential to cause slip and fall injuries. Wet weather procedures. The purpose of weather procedures is to reduce the risk of slip and falls to anyone walking in the centre due to water being trafficked into the centre. What can happen if we don't do this job according to these work instructions? Slips, trips and falls on the wet floor, arm, back and shoulder strains, and sprains. Warning notice. When mopping floors, ensure that wet floor signs are used and wait until the floor is completely dry before removing signs. What equipment and materials do we need to do this job properly? Wet floor mats if available, wet floor signs, mops and wringer buckets color-coded to suit area being cleaned, disinfectant chemical, gloves, safety glasses, fully enclosed high-grip footwear. What do we need to do before we start the job? Make sure I have been trained in this task and know how to do it safely and properly. Warning signs to be displayed. Detergent solution to be prepared in the wringer bucket as per chemical label and MSDE's instructions. Ensure that all equipment is with you before you start the task. Preferably, use a trolley to transfer equipment from one area to another. Ensure safety signage is placed around the area where the work is to be carried out prior to starting work. Ensure you fully understand how to safely use the chemicals. How do we do the job? Put out additional wet weather mats where these are available. If these mats are heavy, ensure proper lifting techniques, safe lifting practices to protect against injury, and/or seek additional help in putting out and removing mats. Put out wet floor signage. Ensure that a correct posture is adopted whilst mopping the floor and do not swing the mop further than the width of your shoulders. Sections are to be mopped in about 2-meter wide sections as followed. Rinse the mop frequently. Clean off moisture using dry mop or cloth. Buckets are to be rinsed and all loose mop strands or fringes removed. Increase frequency of mopping regime at entries according to prevailing conditions. Other comments. Pay attention to prevailing weather conditions and remove signage and any wet weather mats once dry conditions externally resume. Make sure any injuries, incidents or faults with the equipment are reported immediately to your supervisor and a Millennium Incident Report is completed. Slips and falls. Slip and falls are one of the most common and preventable workplace injuries in the cleaning industry. Injuries from slip and falls include musculoskeletal, cuts, bruises, dislocations, and fractures. Sometimes injuries can have serious outcomes like severe pain, hospitalization, and time off work. The potential for liability for slips or falls is high, and they are not only a problem for workers. Customers and the general public can also be exposed to risk. Floors and walkways in workplaces where people continually enter from outdoors will often be wet when it rains. In shopping centers, office buildings, or schools, employees and customers can slip and fall when the floor surface is wet. Slips happen when a person's foot loses traction with the ground. This could be due to wearing inappropriate footwear or when walking on a slippery surface such as a wet floor. Other common slip hazards include spills of liquid or solid material, wet cleaning methods, not using a dry mop following a wet clean-up, leaving the floor wet, wind-driven rain through doorways, change from wet to dry surface, the incline of a ramp. Trips occur when a person catches their foot on a surface or an object. In most cases, people trip on low obstacles that they don't notice, such as uneven floors. Other common trip hazards include loose mats or tiles, electrical cords on the ground or exposed cables, loads that obstruct vision, potholes or cracks in floors, poor building design, poor lighting. Minimizing hazards due to wet weather. As we work in shared workplaces where we are dealing with center or site management, tenants, and the general public, it is important you work cooperatively with others as much as you personally can to prevent slip and falls. As we said earlier, many slip and trip hazards are due to building design, which are things you can't control. Let's have a look at some of the things you can do to minimize slipping hazards due to wet weather. Place wet weather mats at building entrances. Put out wet floor signage. Have easy access to equipment and materials for cleaning up water on the floor. Follow correct mopping procedures. Pay attention to weather conditions and remove signage once dry conditions outside resume. Be aware of areas at your site that may be prone to leaks, so when it rains you can pay close attention to those areas. Remember, if you do see a trip or slip hazard that you can't control, make sure you report it immediately so it can be dealt with appropriately. Welcome to the Workplace Health and Safety and Personal Protective Equipment course. This course talks about keeping a safe and healthy working environment for yourself, your teams, our clients, and the general public. We will also look at the type of equipment you will use in your role as a cleaner to keep you safe and healthy at work. During this course, we will be looking at why WHS is important, legislation, duty of care, safe working procedures, hazards and risks, PPE, your safety input. Why WHS is important. The Millennium Group is committed to providing a safe and healthy workplace for its employees, labour hire staff, contractors, subcontractors, visitors, and all other people whose health or safety could be at risk through our work. Everything you do as an employee of the Millennium Group must be done safely, whatever the task may be, from the way you clean floors or move furniture to decanting and storing chemicals. You need to take responsibility for your own health and safety at work and ensure you don't do anything that would negatively affect the health and safety of others. It is important to understand the safety basics even before you start work on a site. Because WHS is so important, you will receive training here and on site through Toolbox and other face-to-face training. Learning about WHS will be ongoing. We want you to update your skills and knowledge because the services we provide in our day-to-day work on sites can be dangerous. As you learn to use new equipment or take on more responsibilities, it will be necessary to complete additional training. By following the correct workplace health and safety procedures and work instructions, your work will be of higher quality, more efficient, done safely, minimize injuries and time off work. Legislation. Legislation is law that is passed in Parliament. You need to know about WHS legislation because it governs health and safety in the workplace and includes WHS acts, regulations, codes and standards, which by law, every worker must comply with. Act is a law passed by Parliament that apply to all workplaces. Regulations outline the procedures, responsibilities and obligations to follow to comply with the Act. Codes of practice give practical advice on how to comply with the Acts. Australian standards is set specifications and procedures to ensure products and systems are safe and work as they are intended to. On site you will learn which acts, regulations, codes of practice and Australian standards are relevant to you and your work. Then you will know your legal duties relating to health and safety at work for you and those around you. Duty of care. Before we can move on from the legal stuff, we need to look at duty of care. Duty of care means a person has to do everything possible within reason to protect themselves and others from harm. You as a cleaner at Millennium have a duty of care to yourself and others to work safely at all times and report hazards. Examples of duty of care: notifying your supervisor of any faulty equipment, not packing a box too heavily if it needs to be manually lifted, safely cleaning a spill, telling others of a hazard you have noticed like a broken floor tile. Duty of care is everyone's responsibility, including persons conducting a business or undertaking, in this case Millennium, your team including supervisors and other cleaners, tenants, general public, centre management. Safe working procedures. As an employee of Millennium, you need to make sure you work safely to protect yourself and others. Safe work practices on site include always looking out for and reporting hazards such as broken equipment. Always use PPE. For example, wearing gloves to clean toilets. Using tongs to push rubbish down in a bin. Use chemicals according to manufacturer's instructions. Never take unnecessary risks at work. Follow work instructions. As your employer, Millennium will provide you with information on how to safely do your work. We do this through work instructions, policies and procedures, site inductions, safety data sheets, training on using equipment, hazards and risks. A hazard is anything in the workplace that has the potential to harm someone. A hazard could be an object or a substance like a chemical or broken piece of equipment, a process or the way something is done, incorrect manual handling. A risk is the potential that a hazard will cause harm to someone. The level of risk that the hazard will cause harm depends on how often the job is done, how many people are exposed to the hazard, how serious the injury could be as a result. In the workplace, the major cause of accidents, incidents, and illness is people not being able to identify hazards due to lack of understanding or lack of information. We can improve this by providing you with training and trying to eliminate hazards before they cause injury to workers and the general public at our sites. Here are 5 basic principles of managing hazards and risks on site. Identify the hazard. See, hear, smell. Think of the risk involved. Think and check. Talk to and report the hazard to the right person or people. Talk and tell. Control the hazard. Prevent or stop. Evaluate whether the prevention or change worked. Check and review. Common hazards in cleaning. Chemical. Chemicals not labeled at all. Chemicals not labeled properly. Chemicals not stored properly. Chemical spill. Storage room with poor air ventilation. Electrical and mechanical. Exposed wires. Frayed electrical cord. Removal of guards on equipment. Ignoring manufacturer's instructions. Inappropriate equipment for the task. Physical. Manual handling heavy objects. Excess noise. Sharp objects. Uneven floor surface. Repetitive actions over long period. Biological. Syringes or needles. Bodily fluids such as blood, saliva, vomit, urine. Bacterial diseases. Not wearing PPE. Not washing hands after cleaning bodily fluids. Personal protective equipment, PPE. PPE is designed to protect you as an individual when you do your work. It does not totally prevent injury, but it will reduce the risk of injury and disease. It is your duty to wear PPE as you are instructed to do so. Likewise, if you notice that certain PPE you need on site has run out or is not available, report it to your supervisor. As a cleaner, one of the most common types of PPE you will use is rubber gloves. Gloves protect your hands from hazardous substances from entering your body through the skin. It is especially important to use rubber gloves when cleaning toilets. Your safety input. At Millennium, we encourage you to contact your supervisor, account manager, or state office immediately if you have any concerns regarding a hazard identified, an unsafe work practice you have been asked to perform by either a Millennium colleague, supervisor, or a client. How can you share your feedback? We have team meetings that occur on site. These meetings provide all workers with the opportunity to give constructive feedback about site standards or system improvements. We also have toolbox training on site to ensure workers are constantly being updated on safety issues. And lastly, we encourage hazard reporting. This could be as simple as letting your supervisor know that you have run out of rubber gloves, or it could be as severe as reporting a car leaking petrol in a car park. Remember, you won't be looked down on for reporting any unsafe work practices. Welcome to the Dealing with Hazardous Substances course. This course has been designed to provide you with the information you need to safely handle chemicals. Chemicals are used in various cleaning roles, and unfortunately, some chemicals can cause injury or illness if used incorrectly. Therefore, it is important to understand how chemicals enter the body and how to control chemical hazards. During this course, we'll be looking at some important terms: preparing to handle chemicals, how chemicals affect the body, safety message, decanting chemicals, controlling hazards, safe use of chemicals. Most chemicals can cause injury through inhalation, absorption, injection, or ingestion. Employees will not and must not be allowed to use any chemicals that they have not been trained to safely use. What can happen if we don't do this job according to these work instructions? Poisoning or other damage which may be temporary or permanent. Skin burns, dermatitis, eye irritation and damage, headaches, dizziness and/or fainting, internal organs damage. What equipment and materials do we need to do this job properly? Note: safety equipment must meet the specifications in the material safety datasheet for each individual chemical being used or stored and may include waterproof, chemical-resistant overalls, aprons, gowns, chemical-resistant suits, gloves as specified in the MSDEs such as rubber, nitrile, latex, chemical-resistant safety glasses or goggles, face shields, P1, P2 or P3 masks, respirators, full or partial, chemical spill kit including all materials and equipment for neutralizing and cleaning up, gumboots or fully enclosed high-grip footwear. What do we need to do before we start the job? Make sure that I have had training in this task and that I know how to do it safely and properly. Read and understand the MSTS and fully comply with its safety information. If unsure, do not do the job, but report immediately to your supervisor for advice. Put on all required PPE before commencing task. Ensure all equipment for mixing chemical is at the site. Ensure a chemical spill kit is available. Keep MSDSs near areas where substances are used. MSDSs must be under 5 years old. Ensure there is no eating, drinking or smoking in areas where substances are used. Ensure that chemicals are not decanted to any other container without it being of the appropriate substance for that chemical and properly labeled for that chemical. Containers that have contained food or drink must never be reused for chemicals. How do we do the job? Supervisor to ensure that all employees are trained to safely use all chemicals relevant to their job. Ensure contents of any unlabeled containers found are labeled appropriately, all the contents discarded in the approved drain, if applicable. Exactly follow all training and instructions for the safe use of all chemicals. Other comments. Pay attention at all times to complete the task safely. Make sure any injuries, incidents or faults with the equipment are reported. Common terms. Before we get started on how to safely work with chemicals, let's have a look at some of the common words you will see throughout this course. Concentrate, a strong solution. Container, an object used to hold things. Corrosive, a substance that is able to damage or destroy through the chemical action of corrosion. Decant, to pour from one container to another. Dilute, to reduce the strength or concentration of a solution by adding a weaker solution such as water. Dispose, to throw away. Flammable, able to catch fire easily and burn rapidly. SDS, safety datasheet is a document containing health and safety information about a product. Residue, something left after other parts have been taken away. Siphon, a tube used to transfer liquid in a container to another container at a lower level. Solution, a mixture of two or more substances. Toxic, poisonous, harmful or deadly. Transferring, to move from one place to another. Ventilation, a means of allowing fresh air to pass through an enclosed area. Handling chemicals. When you are preparing to handle chemicals, think about safety at all times and remember to always read the SDS for the chemical you are using, as it will tell you what PPE to wear, correct and safe use of the chemical, properties of the chemical, health hazards in using the chemical. Read the container, color-coded wall chart or STS for information on preparing the chemical. Wear gloves. If you don't wear gloves, you could burn or damage your skin. Wear safety glasses or goggles so you don't damage your eyes. Clean any chemical spills immediately. Do not mix chemicals. If you are unsure about how to handle chemicals or the effects of chemicals, ask your supervisor. Chemicals can enter the body through absorption through the skin, ingestion, inhalation. Manufacturers of cleaning chemicals conduct testing on their products and write labeling based on their research. If you don't read labeling carefully and follow the manufacturer's instructions when you use a cleaning chemical, you could be seriously harmed. You must wear gloves and protective glasses or goggles as a minimum when handling chemicals. Decanting chemicals. Never mix chemicals. There is always a product available for the cleaning task, so there is no need to ever mix chemicals. Chemical mixtures have no safety data sheet, therefore, the risks of using a chemical mixture is unknown. Some chemicals, when combined, can cause a dangerous reaction, releasing toxic gases and liquids. Cleaning chemicals are rarely ordered in bulk quantities and usually come in containers that are deemed to be used in an automatic dispensing unit. Chemicals that come in large containers often need to be transferred to smaller containers that are easier to manage. This process of transferring a liquid from one container to another is known as decanting. Decanting can be a dangerous process as larger containers may be heavy and the chemicals may be explosive, flammable, or corrosive. Decanting chemicals is a last resort. 12 steps to decanting. 1. Only decant chemicals in the cleaning storage area and only do so when an alternative means of diluting chemicals is not available. 2. Check the empty container for any cracks or leaks. Only use containers supplied by the chemical manufacturer. 3. Check both containers have correct and clear labels. 4. Put on your PPE, at a minimum gloves and protective eyewear. 5. The small container should be placed on a stable surface in a bunded area. You may need to use a funnel to pour the liquid from the large container to the small one. 6. Fill the small container slowly. Don't rush. 7. As the container is 2/3 full, slow down the rate you pour. 8. When the container is full, seal it tightly. 9. Wash down the outside of the container of any excess chemicals and make sure no water enters the container. This could be hazardous. 10. Store the chemical in the correct place as per your supervisor's instructions. 11. Wash your hands thoroughly and make sure no chemicals are on your skin or clothing. 12. Clean or dispose of PPE as per manufacturer's instructions. Controlling hazards. We have identified different types of hazards. Now let's see how we go about controlling hazards. Controlling hazards means trying to limit the danger the hazard may cause. It means finding the best way to eliminate or minimize the risk. We use a system called the hierarchy of control. The hierarchy of control is a system used in our industry to either eliminate or minimize exposure to hazards. If it is not possible to eliminate it, we would then go down the list of controls and look at the next most effective option, which is to substitute or change. Sometimes you may need to use more than one control. For example, have a hazard sign and wear PPE. Before we finish on hierarchy of control, let's use it in an example. When we talk about preventing slip and falls, something that can often happen in a retail shopping centre. According to Safe Work Australia, 18% of all injuries to cleaners are caused by slips or falls on uneven floor surfaces. Here is a table showing ways to control the risk of slips and falls in order of their effectiveness using the hierarchy of control. At design stage, eliminate changes in floor levels, install more power, outlets to avoid trailing cords. Replace the flooring with a more slip-resistant surface. Cordon off wet floor areas while cleaning is in progress. Apply floor treatments to increase slip resistance. Improve lighting. Stop leaks from equipment or pipes. Use signage to warn of wet or slippery areas. Provide training and supervision. Wear slip-resistant footwear. Welcome to this course on manual handling. This course is designed to help you identify and minimize the risk of injury when you perform manual handling techniques at work. During this course, we will be looking at: what is manual handling? Manual handling tasks in cleaning. Repetitive work and job rotation. Manual handling injuries. Safe manual handling techniques. The job of cleaning is a very physical one and involves manual handling every day. After all, you're not sitting behind a desk all day working on a computer. Manual handling describes a wide range of activities which involve use of the muscles, tendons, and joints of the body. Manual handling is lifting, pushing and pulling, holding, bending, throwing, carrying, Twisting and turning. The effort we use to perform manual handling can be one action, such as lifting a very heavy box, or in repetitive movements, such as lifting chairs on and off tables in the food court. Manual handling tasks when cleaning. As we said earlier, your job as a cleaner is a physical one. Some of the daily tasks you perform requiring manual handling are food courts and school classrooms, moving tables, putting chairs on tables, picking up rubbish, wiping tables, malls and commercial office lobbies, vacuuming, mopping, detailing, amenities, emptying rubbish bins, scrubbing toilets, cleaning high glass, tiles and mirrors. Repetitive work, job rotation and injuries. We implement job rotation practices, which means you will change work tasks regularly to help reduce the risk of repetitive injuries. Rotating job tasks also enables you to learn new skills, gives you variety in your day, and greater job satisfaction. If you suffer from any shoulder, wrist or hand irritation, discomfort or pain, you should report this immediately to your supervisor or account manager. Injuries from manual handling are common because many tasks undertaken in the cleaning industry are physical and repetitive. Most injuries are what are called soft tissue strains, and these include muscle, tendon, and joint strains and sprains. In most cases, they are minor and resolved with simple measures such as ice or heat, stretches, simple pain relievers such as paracetamol, and if necessary, modification of duties for a while. However, some injuries can permanently damage you, such as a ruptured disc from incorrect lifting. Bear in mind that some injuries seem minor at the time, but can accumulate over time, causing permanent damage. Before starting work, it is a good idea to do gentle, sustained stretches of your muscle groups to get them ready for the day's work. Remember that manual handling injuries not only occur in the workplace, but also at home and during leisure and sporting activities. Safe manual handling techniques. Lifting a heavy load. If done incorrectly, lifting a heavy object can strain your back and knees. You can follow these simple steps to make sure you are safely lifting heavy objects. 1. Warm up. 2. Check the load. 3. Get close to the load. 4. Set your feet apart for balance. 5. Relax your knees. 6. Lower your body and bend your knees. 7. Lower your head. 8. Get a firm grip. 9. Raise your head and look ahead. 10. Straighten your legs. 11. Lift, then turn your feet before walking. Safe manual handling techniques. Safety tips. Vacuuming. 1. When fitting the backpack unit, place the unit onto shelf or bench, back into it, and then do up the harness. 2. When using the vacuum cleaner, ensure that the cord is always behind the machine. 3. Use arm movements as much as possible so as to minimize twisting the back. 4. Maintain an upright posture at all times. 5. Wear appropriate footwear, rubber-soled, enclosed, non-slip shoes. Emptying bins. 1. Wear gloves when lifting or moving garbage bags. 2. Check the weight of the rubbish bin by tilting or tapping it. If the waste is too heavy, avoid lifting straight up. For heavy loads, tilt the bin down to eliminate the need to pull rubbish vertically. 3. Remember to think before you lift and focus on the specific task. If too heavy, ask for team assistance. 4. Whenever possible, use both hands to pick up or move rubbish bins and bagged waste. 5. Use suitable mechanical aids when necessary, such as trolleys, wheelie bins, and other lifting equipment. 6. Do not overload bins as they will become too heavy and increase the risk of injury. Welcome to this course on vacuums and buffers. This course is designed to provide you with basic information on the safe use and maintenance of equipment we use every day as cleaners, vacuums and buffers. During this course, we will be looking at protecting our clients' assets, types of equipment we use, The right equipment for the right surface. Safe use of vacs and buffers. Simple maintenance of equipment. At all of the sites Millennium operates cleaning services, hard floor surfaces exist that cost our clients significant amounts of money to install and maintain. In providing cleaning services to our clients, we are in effect providing asset management, protecting the life of their asset. If we can maximize carpet and hard floor surface life, the asset will look good for longer and present a better working environment for the people working in and visiting the building. Not only will effective cleaning present better, it will promote a healthier indoor environment. At Millennium, we spend over $1 million per year on equipment including vacuums and buffers to take care of our clients' assets. It is important you understand how to safely and effectively use this equipment to be able to perform your job. Types of equipment. In the assets we work at, we clean hard and soft floor surfaces. Hard floors are floors that feel hard to the touch like terrazzo tiles and concrete. Soft floors are floors that feel soft, such as carpet and rugs. To clean these surfaces we use a number of types of equipment. The two we will look at in this course are vacuums and buffers. Vacuum cleaners work by sucking dust from the floor using a vacuum, which is then collected in a vacuum box, bag or cyclone. There are typically 3 types of vacuums used in professional cleaning. Pull-along vacuums. Backpack vacuums. Wet, dry vacuums. Let's look more closely at backpack vacuums as they are the most commonly used in our business. Backpack vacs. We mostly use backpack vacuums because they are faster than the other types of vacuum cleaners. Backpacks are more efficient due to their ease of use, ability to vacuum in all areas and minimize the movement of furniture. Before using the backpack vac, you should 1. Empty the dust bag. Always empty the dust bag also after you have finished, ready for the next person to use. 2. Shake the vacuum bag into a garbage bag to minimize dust. Do this outside where possible. 3. Check filters and bags. Filters should be washed after every use. 4. Always check the electrical cord before using the backpack vac. 5. Unwind all of the cord. Do not leave any sections of the cord wound up because this can create heat and damage the cord. 6. Ensure equipment has a current appliance test tag fitted. The next step is to safely put on the backpack vac. Following our instructions to safely put on your backpack vac. Important tip: where possible, place the backpack vac on a table or bench so it is easier to put on. Step 1. Rotate the dome lid to suit left or right-handed vacuuming. Loosen the shoulder straps. Adjust the length at top of shoulder strap. Lift the backpack by one shoulder strap. Then slide your free arm into the other strap. Step 2. Tighten the hip bands so the machine rests comfortably on your hips. Step 3. Pull down on shoulder straps for a comfortable fit. Do up chest strap to secure backpack. Step 4. Make sure the harness is resting on your hips. Note: if the backpack feels heavy or uncomfortable, it is likely you are not wearing it correctly. Protecting your back while using a backpack vac. 1. Stand upright with the bent handpiece section parallel to the floor. 2. Hold the bent handpiece with one hand at a comfortable arm's length. 3. Move forward and away from the power point. 4. Use easy underarm swinging motion when detail cleaning as short dabs when spot cleaning, always standing upright. 5. Once the end of the power cord has been reached and work completed, return to the power point along the cord line and disconnect the power cord from the power point. 6. If work is not completed, move to the next area. Connect power cord to the nearest power point and repeat steps 1 through 6. 7. Remove backpack by sliding the one of the straps off the shoulder while raising the other arm, shoulder to hold strap in place. Slowly lower the shoulder and lower the backpack to the floor. Do not drop. 8. If work is completed, disconnect power cord from power point. Then wind from the backpack towards the end of the power cord to reduce likelihood of cable twists. Here are some simple tips for fixing common backpack vac problems. 1. Backpack not working. Check all the plugs and sockets are firmly plugged in. 2. Backpack shuts off due to high motor temperature. Turn the main switch off and unplug the backpack. After 30 minutes, the backpack should be ready to use. If it is not, please contact your supervisor. 3. Backpack has little or no suction. Remove and empty the dust bag. Remove the dust bag and make sure the rubber edging is correctly fitted around the canister. Ensure the hose is correctly sealed and remove any blockages. Buffers. Buffing polished floors removes surface scratches, revealing a cleaner, higher shine surface. The floor surface will reflect light more evenly and give off a more shiny appearance. Buffing machines come in 3 different versions. 1. Slow speed swing polishers. 2. High speed straight line machines, electric. 3. UHS ultra high speed propane gas machines. UHS LPG machines are the most commonly used machine because they can be used to cover a large area of hard floors quickly. Swing polishers. Swing polishers are used for buffing polished floors and scrubbing all types of hard floors to remove soils not removed by a mop and bucket. Buffing. A swing polisher can be used to buff polished floors including polished terrazzo, marble or timber floors. When using a swing polisher, red or white pads are the most commonly used buffing pads. Deep scrubbing. Swing polishers are used for a large variety of scrubbing operations, including deep scrubbing various flooring surfaces, including ceramic tiles, smooth and textured, rough surfaces, various stone floors, concrete, rubber, anti-slip floors, and many other types of hard floors. The most commonly used pads for deep scrubbing are green and black. Tips. Before using any buffer machine, ensure you have done training on how to safely use the equipment. If the machine is vibrating, you may have a damaged pad holder or brush. Do not use the machine if it vibrates too much. Keep the electrical cord behind you. Do not leave the machine in the one spot for too long as it could damage the floor. Keep alert for people and other obstacles as you buff the floor. Please note, your supervisor or account manager will give you specific training on the use of buffers and swing polishers. Welcome to this course on loading docks and compactors. This course has been designed to highlight the importance of safety when using compactors and operating in loading docks. In this course, we will be looking at: what are they? Why do we go near them? Safety in loading dock areas. Compactors. What are they? Safety around compactors. Handling of rubbish. Handling of sharps. Loading docks. Loading docks are areas for loading and unloading stock from trucks and other vehicles. Areas of loading docks, particularly in shopping centres, are used for keeping waste, recycling and rubbish before it is removed from the site. Why do cleaners go near loading docks? We go into loading dock areas to dispose of rubbish, recycling and to clean the area. It is important that loading dock areas are clean. For presentation, minimises the chance of rodents, insects and other animals being attracted to food and garbage, minimises safety hazards and potential for injury, ensures pedestrian pathways are clear for tenants. Loading docks have areas designated for recycling waste, which include soft plastic such as plastic containers, wash bottles, tubing, commingle, mixing recyclables like paper, glass and plastic, metal, organic matter such as food, garden or lawn matter, cooking oil, cardboard. Before we look more closely at compactors, let's highlight some safety issues for you to be aware of when you're working in loading dock areas. Safely working in dock areas. Site standards on site require workers to move around the centre, and this includes dock areas. Docks must be free of all food and rubbish to ensure the centre is clean, and to minimise the encouragement of rodents, insect and other animals attracted to food and rubbish. Make sure you have been trained in this task and that you know how to do it safely. Make sure the area of work is well lit with good visibility. Never put yourself at risk by disregarding safety rules. Always be vigilant and obey the proper instructions. What can happen if we don't do this job according to these work instructions? A worker could be fatally injured by a vehicle or truck loading or unloading property or collecting rubbish and waste. Unauthorized access by the general public to loading dock areas increases the risk rating of injury and must be monitored. Workers must be vigilant in reporting unauthorized parking or set-downs by workers in loading dock areas. Slip or trip hazard from discarded waste products boxes or pallets left on site. Fire hazards from not removing these discarded items. What equipment and materials do we need to do this job properly? High visible vest, fully enclosed non-slip shoes, two-way radio, dustpan or broom, access and knowledge on spill kit procedures, gloves, tongues and knowledge of sharps collection procedures. What do we need to do before we start the job? Make sure the area of work is well lit with good visibility. Never put yourself at risk by disregarding safety rules. Always be vigilant and obey the proper instructions. Inform your supervisor or manager that you are working in the dock areas. Make sure that you have had training in this task and that you know how to do it safely and properly. Read and understand the work instruction and fully comply with its safety information. If unsure, do not do the job, but report immediately to your supervisor for advice. Be aware of your surroundings and ensure safety standards are adhered to. Ensure PPE is worn whilst working in the dock areas. Do not lift items that are heavy. Report any unsafe work practice by dock users to your manager or supervisor immediately. How do we do the job? Remove rubbish from areas in the dock. Ensure PPE such as gloves, fluoro vests, closed-in footwear is being worn. Ensure the dock area is clear from hazards and risks. Perform dock duties as required. Ensure workers are not wearing headphones or other listening devices that may interfere with standard hearing. Other comments. Pay attention at all times to complete the task safely. Make sure personal safety is the priority whilst conducting this task. Inform your supervisor or manager when you have completed this task. Make sure any injuries, incidents or faults with the equipment are reported immediately to your supervisor and a Millennium Incident Report is completed. What is a compactor? A compactor is a machine used to store and condense waste until it is removed from site. Why do we need to use them? To remove rubbish from bins and other areas of the site. Note: using a compactor requires specific training on site. You will receive this training in due course. Safety around compactors. If we are not trained properly and don't follow safety procedures when using compactors, we could be fatally crushed by either falling into the compactor or be injured when moving items inside the machine, and then another worker comes to turn it on. We could develop a manual handling injury from incorrectly lifting rubbish into the compactor. Slip or trip on discarded waste products. Safety tips around compactors. Make sure you are properly trained on using a compactor. Wear the correct PPE, especially a high-vis vest. Do not enter the compactor or use prods to help move rubbish or cardboard while the machine is turned on. If you are issued with a key to operate the compactor, make sure you don't leave the key behind after use. Concentrate at all times when working with compactors. Report any faults in the compactor or cage to your supervisor. Do not use a compactor without all safety barriers in place. Do not access the control boxes on compactors. Manual handling of rubbish. In a previous course, we looked closely at manual handling. However, here we will look at some tips for lifting and disposing of rubbish into a compactor. 1. Ensure you are wearing the correct PPE. 2. Do not lift anything too heavy. 3. Always ask for assistance if required. 4. Never put your bare hands into a bag of rubbish for any reason. 5. Make sure all rubbish goes into the appropriate designated recycling areas. 6. If you are not sure where rubbish goes, always ask. Lastly, we will look at handling sharps, as needle stick injuries can occur when moving rubbish from one place to another. Handling sharps. Needles and other sharp medical instruments are called sharps. Used sharps are medical waste. There are special rules about how medical waste must be disposed of. The containers for disposing of used sharps are yellow and are clearly labelled with a biohazard sign. General guidelines for handling and disposing of sharps include: wear the appropriate PPE including safety goggles, an apron, thick gloves, and long tongs. Sharps must not be passed directly from hand to hand, and handling should be kept to a minimum. Needles must not be recapped, bent, broken or disassembled before use of disposal. Sharps containers must not be filled above the mark indicated on the container. Place sharps container on a level, stable surface. Close the top of the sharps container when carrying or if left unsupervised to prevent spillage or tampering. Lock the container when it is 3/4 full using the closure mechanism. Carry sharps containers by the handle. Do not hold them close to the body. Never leave sharps lying around. Do not try to retrieve items from a sharps container. Do not try to press sharps down in the sharps box to make more room. Welcome to this course on hygiene control. This course is designed to help you understand your role in controlling the spread of disease by following hygiene control procedures. In this course, we will be looking at cleaning and germs, color coding, cross-contamination, PPE, germs and illness. Many illnesses and sicknesses people get are caused by germs entering the body. Some of the ways germs can enter the body are through breathing in when someone coughs or sneezes in your direction, open cuts or wounds in the skin, touching contaminated surfaces such as toilets, taps, or door handles, being in close contact with an infected person, needle stick injuries. One of the most effective ways to stop the spread of germs when we clean is to wash our hands. We all carry millions of germs on our hands. Some of these cause illnesses such as colds, flu, or diarrhea. We can also pick up germs from objects such as doorknobs and stair railings and being touched by other people who do not wash their hands. Each day you go to work environment, you bring with you many germs that may be harmful to other people. So remember to wash your hands before you start your shift. Also remember to always wash your hands after going to the bathroom, after removing your gloves, before and after eating. Color coding system. Our role in cleaning is to reduce the number of germs and by doing so, keeping those who visit the sites we clean healthy. The risk of spreading germs can be reduced by using color-coded cleaning cloths, mops, and buckets. The idea of color coding is to use different colored cleaning cloths, mops, and buckets based on the type of area being cleaned. Color-coded equipment including cloths, mops, and buckets follow the areas below. Red, toilets and washrooms. Blue, general cleaning areas that are low risk. Malls, hallways, lobbies. Green, food and beverage areas, food courts. Yellow, areas of contamination and infectious areas such as blood or bodily fluids. Cross-contamination. If we don't follow correct cleaning procedures, we may actually spread an infection and make people sick. Cross-contamination happens when we use the wrong colored cloth, mop, or bucket for the wrong area. For example, using a red cloth meant for toilets to wipe down a table in the food court. We can reduce the risk of cross-contamination and spreading germs by washing and drying mops, cloths, and buckets according to their color at the end of each shift. Replace mops, buckets, and cloths when required. Change water in buckets regularly during a shift. Wear rubber gloves when cleaning toilets and washrooms. Wash your hands before and after eating, after using the bathroom, and after removing your gloves. PPE and hygiene control. Depending on the site you work at and the cleaning tasks you do in your shift will determine the PPE you are required to wear. Most commonly, you will wear gloves and masks, which will help protect you from germs and harmful chemicals used to clean. It is important PPE is in good condition, is stored correctly and clean to prevent the spread of germs. Tips on protective clothing. Always wear a clean uniform to work or a protective apron. Use gloves to protect yourself and the public, especially when cleaning toilets and washrooms. Dispose of gloves after cleaning contaminated areas. Rubber gloves can be washed and reused, but throw them out if they become cracked, torn or punctured. Do not wear open-toe footwear. Do not handle chemicals with your bare hands. Use safety masks and glasses, especially when in contact with chemicals. Welcome to this course on environmental obligations and spill response. This is the final course in your cleaning induction on Millennium People Hub. This course is designed to highlight the importance of cleaning spills that occur during a shift and potential impact of our work practices on the environment. In this course, we will be looking at cleaning spills, spill kits, protecting the environment, cleaning spills. During our cleaning shifts, one of the important tasks we need to effectively complete is to clean spills. Sometimes a spill will be something relatively harmless like a soft drink, while other times we will be cleaning spills of hazardous substances like chemicals. In this course, we will be focusing on hazardous spills. Effectively cleaning spills ensures we can stop the spread of hazardous materials spreading into drains and sewers. We minimize the chance of cross-contamination. We help prevent slip and falls and personal injuries. We minimize environmental accidents from taking place. We help prevent floor surfaces being damaged. We minimize the risk of fire. Before we attempt to clean a spill, we need to notify your supervisor or person in charge immediately. Make sure we are confident in dealing with a hazardous substance. Read the SDS so you know how to deal with the substance and how hazardous it is. Be aware of your surroundings. Before you start cleaning, ask yourself, what impact could this have on my health and safety? Don't eat, smoke, or drink around the spill. Make sure a spill kit and first aid kit are available. Spill kits. Spill kits are effective and environmentally friendly tools designed to clean up hazardous or toxic spills on sites. They generally contain absorbent mats, chemical absorbent powder or granules, PPE such as acid-resistant gloves, safety glasses and a respirator with valve, waste disposal bags, spill cleanup instructions. Warning: when cleaning up spills, make sure wet floor signs are used and wait for the floor to be completely dry before removing the signs. Never leave a spill unattended. Note: you will be trained on site in the use of spill kits, as each site's kit may vary slightly. Hazardous spills general cleanup guidelines. In the event of a chemical spill, the following general guidelines can be followed. 1. Notify your supervisor immediately. 2. Make sure you are trained in using a spill kit. 3. Ensure the safety of any people around the spill. 4. Determine the extent and type of spill. 5. Check the spilled substance SDS for instruction on PPE required and the safe disposal of the substance. 6. Ask for assistance if you cannot perform the cleanup by yourself. 7. Make sure all drains are blocked and protected from chemical runoff. 8. Contain and clean up the spill using a spill kit and dispose of the waste according to instructions. Cleaning, spills, and the environment. The environment is the space we live in and the space we work in. It includes our natural resources, the community, and even our buildings. We all have a responsibility to recognize how our work practices impact the environment. As we said earlier, cleaning hazardous spills, following the correct procedure, will help prevent chemicals entering the water supply and further affecting the environment. There are other ways we can help protect the environment when we clean. The Millennium Go Green Training Program is a company-wide program aiming to improve the environmental performance of the sites we clean. You will be given access to this training later in your career at Millennium. Millennium is committed to improving our cleaning practices to be more environmentally conscious. We can achieve this by cleaning that focuses on using less toxic chemicals, more efficient cleaning equipment, and improved indoor air quality. You can play your part by helping to maintain cleaning equipment so it lasts longer. Keep the cleaner's room clean and well organized to minimize the risk of chemical spills. By spending more time cleaning entryways, we can stop more soils from entering the building. Keeping dirt and soils out means a cleaner building and less intensive cleaning. It's that simple. Make sure you place waste in the correct recycling bins. Suggest any improvements to cleaning practices to your supervisor.